Hello everyone, welcome to Gaza with CD. So let's go to India, my dear people. We are going to India where things are exciting. So once again, we are back to the pageant world. The very thing that connected you and I in the beginning of this beautiful channel, which I have built some absolutely wonderful community. Guys, have you realized that you don't have a cute community name? What should we call ourselves? What should we call ourselves? Because I really do like showing you guys my love by referring to you to a cute community name. Think about it, make some submissions, and definitely I am going to look into it. Probably we might even vote for a name in my community tab. Okay, without further ado, let's start with this wonderful video. I know I said I was going to do my top 20, but I thought no. Miss World doesn't just start with top 20. It starts with contestants from around the world. And you deserve to know who they are. How many are they? Before we can crack it down to top 20. Did you even know that the cut or the placement is 40 out of the 105? Okay. Here are some details that I would like to pass to you before we begin the introduction of the contestants from around the world. These are queens, people. We don't call them candidates. We don't call them contestants. They are queens. So let's give them the crown they deserve, because as they come to Miss World or Miss Universe, they're coming already wearing a crown from their country. So let's give them that respect. So Miss World 2025, the date of the competition is going to be held on the 31st of May 2025. The venue is going to be at High Tech's Exhibition Center, Telangana, India. The broadcast corporations that are going to be broadcasting there, from what I've seen, it's only two. It's an English channel as well as YouTube. Now, what I'm not sure about when it comes to YouTube, are they going to do us dirty like the Miss Universe did to us, where we have to join the channel membership in order to enjoy the competition, or it's going to be public? That's where I'm not quite sure, but I will find out the information for you, because if it's public, that means you and we will be watching Miss World live together. And you'll be hearing my commentary on each girl that is going to take to the stage. And then we'll compare the placements according to how I would have placed them and see how many I would have gotten right. All right, so the entrants this year were 108, and placements this year is 40. So meaning from the 108 girls, then they are going to choose their first top 40, okay, before they go to 20, 15, down all the way to the top 3 and the crowning. And then we had withdrawals this year, unfortunately. We had Costa Rica that withdrew, Guinea-Bissau that withdrew, Iraq, Lesotho, Liberia, Macau, Morocco, Norway, Slovenia, South Korea, Tanzania, and Uruguay. They withdrew from Miss World competition this year. I don't know what the reasons were, but yeah. Let's start with the contestants or the queens, as I said, in alphabetical order. So we have Miss Albania, 24-year-old Ilana. Now, guys, please do forgive me. Some of the surnames are really difficult to pronounce, so please do bear with me. Like Miss Albania's surname, I cannot pronounce it. I am so sorry. Then we have Miss Angola, 30-year-old Nuria Assis. 3, we have Miss Argentina, 20-year-old Guadalupe Alomor. And then 4, we have Armenia, 19-year-old Adrian Akolayan. Then we have Miss Australia, 27-year-old Jasmine Stringer. Then we have Bangladesh, 26-year-old Al-Kalima Atika Konika. Number 7, which is Miss Belgium, 23-year-old Karine Jansen. Number 8, Belize, 23-year-old Shairari Mataruya. Number 9, Miss Bolivia, Olga Chavez, who is 21 years old. Number 10, Bosnia and Herzegovina, 22-year-old Anna. And then number 11, Miss Botswana, 20-year-old Amicia Khautusi. And number 12, we have Brazil, who is 24 years old, Jessica Pedroso. And then number 13, who happens to be Miss Bulgaria, who is 24 years old, Theodora Maltanova. 14, Miss Cambodia, 18-year-old Julia Russell. Number 15, we have Miss Cameroon, who is 24 years old, Issa Princess. Number 16, we have Miss Canada, who is 24 years old, Emma Morrison. Number 17 is Miss Cayman Islands, 26-year-old Jada Ramoon. Number 18 is Miss Chile, who is 23 years old, Francesca Lavadaro. Number 19, Miss China, 22-year-old Wanting Lu. Number 20, Colombia, 24-year-old Catalina Guattaro. Number 21, Miss Cote d'Ivoire, my favorite African country on the continent, that is Ivory Coast. And my goodness, have you seen her? Gorgeous. 21-year-old Fatimata Kalabadi or something. I'm sorry, I'm butchering her surname here. And then number 22, Miss Croatia, who's 23 years old, Tomislava Dukic. Number 24, Miss Czech Republic. Actually, let's put it this way because Czech Republic is number 24, not number 23. So let's start with number 23, then we go to Czech Republic. So number 23 is Curacao, 23-year-old Shubreni Dams. And then number 24, Miss Czech Republic, 22-year-old Adela Strofakova. Number 25, Denmark, 22-year-old Emma Heist. Number 26, that will be Dominican Republic, 23-year-old Myra Alejandra Delgado. Number 27, sorry. Number 27 is Ecuador, 24-year-old Sandra Alvarado. Number 28 is El Salvador, 25-year-old Sofia Estopinian. Then we have Miss England at 23 years old, Mila Maggi. Then we have Miss Equatorial Guinea, whom I'm like, okay, maybe not. This is 23-year-old Estela Ngwame Montague. The Ngwame family is the same family that is running Equatorial Guinea. So that is why I'm a little bit taken aback if this not nepotism. Anyway, let's move on. Then we have Miss Estonia, 24-year-old Elise Randma. At 30, we have Miss Ethiopia, 19-year-old Hazat Dareji at Mosul. Then at 31, we have Miss Finland, 29-year-old Sophia Singh. At 32, we have Miss France, 26-year-old Agatha Huat. At 33, we have Miss Germany, 28 years old Sylvia Dore Sanchez. At 34, we have Miss Ghana, 20-year-old Juta Fakawa. At 35, we have Miss Gibraltar, 19-year-old Shania Ballesta. I wonder if her mother was Shania Twain fan. Number 36, we have Miss Greece at 26 years old Stella Michiala Dao. Then we have at 37, Miss Guadeloupe, 26-year-old Naomi Milner. At 38, we have Miss Guatemala, 18-year-old Jamie Escobedo. At 39, we have Miss Guinea. I think this is Guinea-Bissau. No, Conakry. 25-year-old Cadisto Savain. At 40, we have Miss Guyana, 21-year-old Zoleka Samuels. At 41, we have Miss Haiti. I'm so happy to see Miss Haiti. 24-year-old Christy Guarand. At 42, we have Miss Honduras, 18-year-old Isa Salvila. At number 43, we have Hungary, 23-year-old Andrea Kotzabach. At 44, we have Miss India, the host, 21-year-old Nandini Gupta. At 45, we have Miss Indonesia, 23-year-old Monica Kazia Sambiring. At 46, we have Miss Ireland, 25-year-old Jasmine Kharad. At 47, we have Miss Italy, at 21 years old Shira Esposito. And then at 48, we have Miss Jamaica, at 24 years old. What is her name again? Tail Bennett. Then at 49, we have Miss Japan, at 28 years old, Kiana Tomita. At 50, we have Kazakhstan, 22-year-old Sabina Andresova. At 51, we have Miss Kenya, 25-year-old Grace Ramtu. At 52, we have Kyrgyzstan, 26-year-old Aizan Chalnacheva. Then we have Miss Livia at 53, 17-year-old Mari, I think it's Mari Masarova at 17 years old. What if she wins? Wouldn't that be child labor? Anyways, let's go on. Number 54, we have Miss Lebanon at 26 years old, Nada Posasa. And then number 53, we have Miss Madagascar at 22 years old, Syria Tamaganop. At 56, we have Miss Malaysia, 26-year-old Sarup Rushni. And then we have at 57, Miss Malta, 25-year-old Martine Wataja. At 58, we have Martinique, 27-year-old Aurelie Jiaoshen. At 59, we have Mauritius, 22-year-old Wena Ramna. And at 60, we have Miss Mexico, 28-year-old Marilee Leal. And then at 61, we have Moldova. I always thought that Moldova was like a movie country, but turns out it's real. Moldova is 22-year-old Angelina Shitaka. At 62, we have Miss Mongolia at 22 years old, Adinasalvad Batyaba. I hope I got it all right. I'm sorry. At 63, we have Montenegro, 21-year-old Andrea Nikolic. At 64, we have Myanmar, another 17-year-old Kishi Kling. I'm worried about the 17-year-olds. What if they do win? Would that be child labor? Because they work. At 65, we have Miss Namibia, 28-year-old Salma Kamanya. At 66, we have Nepal, 25-year-old Shru. This is one of the most difficult names I've ever seen, but the surname is Pradhan. 67, we have Miss Netherlands at 19 years old, Jane Nooster. At 68, we have Miss New Zealand, 22-year-old Samantha Paul. 69 is Miss Nicaragua, 23-year-old Vermania Rodriguez. At 70, we have Miss Nigeria, 24-year-old Joy Majisola Riami. 71, we have Miss North Macedonia, 20-year-old Shana Nuzeti. At 72, we have Northern Ireland, 25-year-old Hannah Jones. At 73, we have Panama, 22-year-old Cara Rodriguez. 74, we have Miss Paraguay, 28-year-old Yamina Gomez. At 75, we have Miss Peru, 20-year-old Stacy Hawamanasise. Okay. At 76, we have Miss Philippines, 24-year-old Krishna Gravidas. 77, we have Miss Poland, 21-year-old Maya Klaja. At 78, we have Miss Portugal, 26-year-old Maria Amalia Baptista. 79, we have Miss Puerto Rico, 23-year-old Valeria Perez. At 80, we have Miss Romania, 23-year-old Alexandra Beatrice Catalin. 81, we have Miss Scotland, 24-year-old Amy Scott. 82, we have Miss Senegal, 24-year-old Mame Fame Gay, as in Marvin Gaye. 83, Serbia, 25-year-old Alexandra Rutovic. At number 84, we have Sierra Leone. Happy to see Sierra Leone as well. 23-year-old Latvia. Okay, her name is very difficult, but her surname is Davis. At 85, we have Miss Singapore, 28-year-old Dalvina Katarina Luther. At 86, we have Miss Somalia, 23-year-old Zaina Jama. At 87, Miss South Africa, 19-year-old Zwelies Jensen van Rensburg. At 88, Miss South Sudan, 24-year-old Ayon Tito Matish. At 89, we have Miss Spain, 22-year-old Corina Murad. Okay, also her name is very difficult, Gonzalez. At 90, we have Miss Sri Lanka, 25-year-old Unadi Guanasakara. At 91, we have Serimain, 21-year-old Chanela Rosendal. At 92, we have Miss Sweden, 20-year-old Isabella Ars. It's spelled A-H-S-S. Okay. Okay. 93, we have Miss Thailand, 21-year-old Shantita Shawangari. And I must tell you, Miss Thailand is a strong sash. 94 is Miss Togo, 21-year-old Natalie Yaung Amawama. At 94, we have Miss Trinidad and Tobago, 23-year-old Annalise Nanton. And I must say, Trinidad and Tobago is really growing on me. 96, we have Miss Tunisia, a 23-year-old Lamis Radisi. And I think she's Miss South Africa's roommate. 97 is Miss Turkey at 24 years old, Adil Bilgin. At 98, we have Miss Uganda, 23-year-old Natasha Nyonzi. And then in 99, we have Miss Ukraine at 20-year-old Maria Melivad. Okay, that also is very difficult for me to pronounce. At number 100, we have Miss United States of America, 26-year-old Anthena Crosby. She's also a strong sash. 101, we have Miss Venezuela, another strong sash, 24-year-old Valeria Canova. At number 200, At 102, my apologies, Miss Vietnam at 22 years old. Okay, let's try the name. Is Hyun Tran Yi Nik. Okay. At 103, we have Miss Wales, 22-year-old Millie Mae Adams. At 104, we have Miss Zambia, 24-year-old Faith Mwaglia. And then the final contestant or the final queen is Miss Zimbabwe, 23-year-old Courtney Jongwe. So those are the 105 queens that are running for the crown for Miss World 2025. Of course, Miss South Africa is the strongest sash of the entire bunch. Well, I'm not going to say anything. All I'm going to say, in South Africa, it is in the name. No DNA, just RSA. So we are going to see on the 31st of May 2025 who takes home the blue crown. So please do let me know in the comment section, of the 105 queens, give me your top 5. Let's not go too far. Give me your top 5. Let's see if your top 5 is my top 5. I'm very interested to know from you. So there will be a follow-up video where now I'm going to give you my top 40, and then we'll keep going down like that, because I believe we have about 13 days to go. So there's plenty of time to get to the finish line together. So in the meantime, show me what you got. And what's happening on my tongue? I am unable to consistently follow because I did say I am busy with a project and it's taking a lot of my time, but I am also going to be keeping an eye for the standouts. We are going to do the standouts most definitely. Either I'll do my standouts in a shorts, or I am going to do my standouts in a full-length video or long-form video. We'll see what the week holds for me going forward. And that, guys, I hope we are happy with our first installment, and we shall see each other in my next video, probably 2 hours after this one. See you later. Please don't leave the video without liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. And I am still welcoming those super thanks. Bye.